Hi everyone, I'm back again for another video. Okay, this video is to dispel well, previously I've said it's a myth, however there's a little bit of truth to it, but I'm going to explain all that. Right, the myth, in inverted commas, is that the centre of the magnet holds the key to, I don't know, so it was either, is it 0 point energy or something? Yeah, not entirely correct. A magnet itself holds the key to over unity. 0 point energy? Yeah. Well, don't know about that, but well, the centre of a magnet doesn't really exist. That's where the issue with that myth lies. So, let me explain this. In one of my previous videos I've explained how a magnet is made up. Basically, the ions, the crystals that are inside the magnet are aligned from north to south, or south to north, basically going across the magnet in 9 lines. Okay, now I've drawn it on here. Most people define the north and south poles on a magnet as red and blue, with a distinct line between them. Strictly speaking, there is no distinct line. Right? Now, a standard magnet like this, if you chop it down the centre of that line, right, you don't get null space, or you don't get a null field. What will happen is you'll just split the magnet in two, assuming of course you can cut it without generating heat. So then, if you chop it down that line, right, the new centre would be right about there for this magnet, and this magnet, the centre would be around there. Right. Here's the thing, the centre of the magnet is virtual. It doesn't exist, because it's not always in the centre. The centre of a magnet, in inverted commas, is the point between the north and south poles, right, where both north and south, for want of a better way of putting it, cancel each other out and create a zero. Right. You can test that out by taking a small thin piece of metal, say a metal ruler or something, and a wide magnet like that, and if you play down here, you'll find you'll get to a point where it's attracted to neither side. Well, technically it's attracted to both, but the two fields cancel each other out in terms of pull. There you go. People think there's a centre to the magnet. Now, as I've said, that centre isn't always in the same place. If you were to put another magnet there, excuse me, long day. If you put another magnet there, north field, facing this north field, right, and push the two magnets together so that they compress each other's magnetic field, guess what happens to the centre line? No? Okay. It gets pushed over. The magnetic centre moves towards the South Pole because of the North field coming in. If you put a South field facing the North Pole, right, then the centre line will move towards the North. It's all down to relative magnetics. obviously you can do a test for this, and you can quite easily put two magnets there, take a metal rule, one of it like that, or my smaller one which is around here somewhere, and just move it down the side of the magnet, and you'll find where it is, and you can mark it off, put another magnet there, well there, right, and then you'll find it'll move. Right. One magnet influences the magnetic field of the other. Right. Same with any metal object will also influence the magnetic fields. Now, that being said, you can do something interestingly funky which very few people, I believe, have tried. If you take a coil of wire and wrap it round there, let me show you. Quick, simple and dirty, sorry. So the windings go like that around the magnet. Let's take, have I got one quickly to hand? That's the best one I've got, I think. Give. Oh God, what do I do with the one now? Ooh, plenty of crap. Like that. These are little cylindricals that I've got. So if you assume that this is just one solid magnet, if you take a coil of wire and wrap it round like that, right, and then you put another magnet near it, or a piece of metal, you'll disrupt the magnetic field, which will induce a charge in the coil. So you have it like that. Now the thing is, if you were to put coils around the magnets on your rotor with any type of pulse motor, or well, you could probably do it with a Newman, then you will actually generate power in the coils around the magnets, which could be used for something interestingly funky on the wheel itself, some lights, or you can go through a commutator or something to bring it back to the battery, something like that. But I've only seen a couple of people try it, and that was like 5 years ago. So I'm not quite sure where this myth has kind of come from. Somebody did tell me. I think it was Mr. Angus told me. Yeah, I think he did mention someone's theory about it. But anyway, try that. You might have some interesting results. I know certainly if you put a slight gap between the magnet and your coil of wire, that would definitely increase your field. Because don't forget, the magnetic field goes from, well, north or south to the other end, and it'll go over the top of your coil. What type of coil to use? Well, it depends on the magnet, so really can't answer that. It also depends on how much you're fluctuating. You will, of course, get a Lenz effect, but you'll kind of get something interesting going on, because a Lenz effect will fight with the magnetic field from the magnet, which in turn disrupts the magnetic field from the magnet, thus creating even more voltage in your coil, if you get it right. So, yet another example of how Lenz effect can be used for positive gain. So, Gen coil, try wrapping a magnet in it. So hopefully that's given people ideas. That's the whole point of these. Next set of videos starts to get quite advanced. So we've covered pretty much all the basics, I think. Let's see how many brain cells we can start killing. Right, have fun as always. Don't take my word for it. Try it out yourself. Any questions, comments, give me a holler. Talk to you later.